Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review of the Korean drama Love in Contract. So let's get right into it. So this drama came out in 2022 and it stars Park Min-young and Go Kyung-pyo and also has Kim Jae-young as the second male lead. The drama is about a young woman whose career is to basically be a bride. She helps men who are in crisis essentially get married to save them from disgrace, and that is her career. The reason why she has that particular job is because she was trained to be a bride from when she was young, because she was adopted into a chaebol family and basically raised to be the bride of a chaebol heir. And she uses the fact that she escaped that particular fate to basically fund her lifestyle. And that is the main plot. Now, the romantic aspect of it is that one of the men that she ends up marrying ends up slowly but surely falling in love with her during the process. She has never fallen in love with any of these men that she has helped in contract before, but this man just has a different kind of vibe. He is a judge, he is very quiet and thus very mysterious, and she is very attracted to his character and he's attracted to her too because he's been married before and divorced, and he just likes how honest she is about the process. He actually meets her because he's a judge in court and she's been divorced multiple times, and he's seen how she always takes the blame, and that's the main reason why he wanted to get married to her in the first place. And so because of her honesty, he's drawn to that. Because of his mysteriousness, she's drawn to him, wanting to kind of crack a case and figure out what exactly makes him tick, and that's what allows them to fall in love. The second male lead is a chaebol heir and an actor who has been obsessed with the female lead for years, and he's kind of like a baby. I don't know, he gives off babyish vibes, but he's very obsessed with the female lead, and also does quite a lot to protect her, but also kind of struggles to stand his ground because he's so codependent on her at the same time, which she doesn't really find attractive. That's how I sum up the show completely. Honestly, that is the entire show. The show is 16 episodes. You can watch it on Viki, but that is literally what the whole show is, and the entire dynamic in the love triangle is pretty much that. One guy is a lot more serious, one guy's a lot more silly, one guy is an open book, one guy is a book that is has got a lock on it that's really difficult to get into. I will say the drama is very slow burn. You won't actually know anything that's going on or what you're about to watch for 2 episodes. If you can get past the first 2 episodes, you're going to be able to continue watching past that point. So that's it for people who haven't seen the show. Now let's get into people who have watched the show. So personally speaking, I really liked the characters. The male lead, I really adored him. He was such a sweetheart, such a kind guy, somebody who's taken his time to try and really understand this person before getting into a relationship because of his trauma of his previous marriage. We do see his ex in this show. She is also a lawyer, but she is incredibly troubled, and she literally traumatized him by telling him that the reason why he isn't a marriage material is because of his personality. She made him seem like an oddity. I do think the character is autism coded, but she literally traumatized him, and it's a female lead that allows him to realize that he's actually not so bad and that he's normal, and that his ex was really the main problem, not him. And they have a really lovely, healthy relationship. They have problems too because he's a judge, but he's also not the best at communicating. He can assess the situation, but he doesn't really always know what to say during those situations, and it leads to a lot of awkwardness. A large part of the show is the fact that he's incredibly socially awkward, to the point where his boss at the law firm that he works at is trying to get him to be more social because people literally leave the job because of how antisocial he is, and the female lead also allows him to be a little bit more social. He still maintains his quirks at the end of the show, but you can tell that there's definitely been character development, which is really nice. The female lead is very lovable, but also very troubled. The reason why she decided to not marry the Chebble heir was because she was assaulted by him, and due to just her having like self-respect, she like ruined the entire dinner and just ruined the chance of her becoming a Chebble wife, and decided to just kind of like go her own way. And she has a nanny who she has a very complex relationship with. The nanny raised her, but it was pretty much abuse. Abuse to try and make her become that Chebble wife. And she loves the nanny, but she also feels like she owes the nanny, because the nanny is like, you're the reason why it flopped. I lost so much money from you not being a Chebble wife. And so she gives that nanny a lot of money. And you find out in the show that the nanny's actually her mother. Her mother had a kid with a different guy when she was a teenager. She gave up the kid for adoption and then went back to go get the kid after she like married into a Chebble family, or not married, but was like the mistress of a Chebble guy. She took back her daughter and raised her like as an actual Chebble heir. Like it's pretty much trafficking of your own child. The way the show tries to describe it, they do kind of try and redeem the mother at the end, which is a little bit frustrating. But they try and make it seem like the reason why she trafficked her own child was so her child would have a better life. But to be honest, she didn't really have any freedom, because she tried to mold her into somebody that the child clearly did not want to be, all because of your own selfish desire. And what she did to her was absolutely abuse. And yes, they have a complex relationship and there's definitely love there, but what occurred was absolutely like, it was abuse. And even the judge, he finds out all this information and he tells her mother, he's like, I know you love her, but you messed up and I could report this to the authorities, you'd be put in jail. What you did was horrendous and you need to apologize to her. Like, I won't put you in jail, but you need to say sorry. And she does apologize to her at the end, and it's good. It's good. She apologizes and they kind of like try and amend their relationship, which is nice, I guess, a redemption arc. But sometimes I feel like certain characters don't deserve the redemption arcs, but that's just my own personal opinion. The mother's very complicated. She actually nearly killed herself in a much earlier episode because she's just so tired of like being alive and living in poverty, because after her daughter leaves her, she's pretty much living in poverty, and her daughter sends her money, but she's not using any of it, and she's just living like a rat, pretty much. She is a rat, but she's living like a rat, and it's just not a good time. She actually ends up in jail way before the judge finds out any of this information, because she ruins the deal, and she basically becomes a fall guy for the deal, and her daughter bails her out of jail. And then she then begins to live with her daughter and her gay best friend. Her gay best friend, who she married because his family are really homophobic, and they got married so that his family would get off his back. And they live together and they're besties, and her friend protects her and she's lovely, but the mother ends up moving in with them, and it's really awkward, but it's also a way for the mother to kind of try and understand her daughter more. I hate it because the writers were really trying to give that nanny character a redemption arc, and I found it very frustrating because, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of horrendous, like truly horrendous people getting redemption arcs in stories, but whatever. Then the second male lead, the Chebble actor, his character was honestly, I found him very annoying. Like I said, he was very babyish, very childish, and I don't find characters like this interesting at all. They did try and give kind of depth to his character and try and explain his behaviour. Like, he's playful like that because he's very troubled, and it's his way of kind of trying to be free in a family where he's like so restricted. Like, I understand it, and I've definitely seen similar characters before, but those characters are still a lot more serious compared to his character, and I just found his behaviour really frustrating. And honestly, I'm like, I think you didn't get the girl because honestly you just come off a little bit too unserious, and at that point in her life in the show, like, she needs a guy that's gonna be very serious. And luckily by the end she gets married to the male lead after being divorced multiple times. They don't have a wedding ceremony, but they do get they're already legally married, but it's kind of like, let's say, them kind of renewing their vows, and they're officially married at the end of the show. And they live together and they have a lovely home, and it's really beautiful and it's wonderful and it has a beautiful ending. So yeah, I liked it. I gave the drama an 8.5 in MDL. I gave it an 8.5 because, as I said, I didn't like the second male lead's character. The whole redemption arc thing with the mother was not cool in my personal opinion, and it was very slow paced. Like, I didn't want to drop it because I was very interested in the story, but I can imagine someone who's not very engaged with the story would very easily drop this. And if it was a little faster paced, I do think it would probably be more enjoyable if I was able to catch on to things a lot faster. That's why I gave it an 8.5. But I would say it's a good drama. I would recommend it to people. And the acting's amazing. So yeah. And I did actually quite like the OST. Like, not the best OST ever, but the songs fit the theme. I think it was cool, and I feel like there was a good range of music too. Let me know what you think about this drama in the comments below. If you like my channel, please subscribe. If you like this video, please hit the like button below. Thank you so much for listening. Bye bye.